NBC's medical drama New Amsterdam has been running for quite a while, but things might not end happily for a character who is beloved to many. In this video, we'll be talking about how the latest promo subtly hinted at the tragedy, so stay tuned. Don't have high hopes. There's a new character and our old favorites are missing in action, at least in the hospital. Dr. Veronica Fuentes has invaded New Amsterdam Medical Center, and also Dr. Goodwin's plans to restore the hospital's reputation. She instead wants to run the hospital like a corporation and use its privatization for personal gain rather than genuine medical care. Although the latest episode was chock full of interesting stuff, the promo is contained for the following episode was very concerning to say the least. Titled Family, the upcoming installment's promo featured Sharp visibly in pain after answering a phone call and going on to cry, "Oh my God," while covering her mouth in disbelief. We don't know about any details of the phone call, but what we can confirm is that it is something bad, especially when Goodwin rushed to her side after. Next, more tension. The scene changed and we were back in New York. What did not change was the gloom oozing out of the screen, which definitely meant something was going on here as well. Dr. Lauren Bloom can be seen delivering some news to Dr. Floyd Reynolds, and it's clear by Reynolds' expression that the news is not great. We see Dr. Iggy Fromm rushing to hug a character that we couldn't tell the identity of, considering their back was facing the camera. Then the words, "One final goodbye," flashed on the screen and Goodwin appeared, looking very melancholic. It is thus safe to assume that episode 13 might contain an unexpected death of a major character. Fans discussed what the promo could entail. A user on YouTube, SV72100, predicted that someone could get hit by a car and die, while another hoped that Max and Helen weren't leaving the show. What with the cryptic goodbye message? Someone on Twitter guessed that it was Kapoor who was dying, while someone countered that it was not likely and pondered whether it was Ella that Iggy was hugging. It could also be possible that the trailer is edited in that way to hook viewers and leave them wanting more. Among all the speculations, one thing is certain. When it comes to medical drama, there ought to be a lot of heartbreaking deaths. So, what could episode 13 be about? In the new episode, the team will be gathering to mourn the loss of someone special to them, and the realization of how much New Amsterdam has changed will dawn upon Helen and Max. In addition, Bloom will be dealing with a big decision, and Reynolds' concern for his patients will reach a new level. Not to forget, Dr. Fuentes will remind people of her authority again. Should we be concerned about Iggy, considering he's not mentioned in the episode's summary? Or will the character that will be dying be a recurring one, or someone important in a completely different way? Whoever it is, it made Max and Helen come back to America, which is huge, even if it's temporary. The title, Family, is a whole problem itself, and the fact that this show is not afraid to get rid of major characters is anxiety-inducing. Last time, it was Dr. Kapoor. Who could it be this time? The only thing we can do is keep tissues on standby. Now let's move on to other news. What is New Amsterdam really about? If you're new here, let's give you a recap of this medical show. New Amsterdam is the story of Dr. Max Goodwin, who is the medical director at America's oldest public hospital. Dr. Goodwin is a deviant who has taken it upon himself to rework the US medical system. The series takes a deep dive into his personal life, as well as that of other members that are part of the hospital staff. In season 4, Dr. Goodwin and company finally have a moment to relax after a rough year. The first episode was titled More Joy and showed the characters trying to find and hold on to the joy in their lives. Max comes to terms with his long-held feelings of Dr. Helen Sharp. Dr. Lauren Bloom protects her relationship with Dr. Layla Shinwari. Now her resident, Dr. Iggy Fromm, initiates a new career, while Dr. Floyd Reynolds takes care of his personal engagements. Dr. Veronica Fuentes is introduced, along with her purpose to do something about the overburdened and underfunded hospital. That will put her in a good spot financially, and her first step, put an end to all of the progressive programs that Max went through the trouble to build from the start of the first season. Review of season 4's episode 12. Let us now discuss what happened in the latest addition to the series. Episode 12, titled The Crossover, hit too close to home for anyone who has ever searched for a job. Max and Helen are in London, and Max is desperately searching for a job, but that doesn't mean we don't get more medical cases. Back at the hospital, we return to Willow, a recurring guest star that is unanimously adored. Her story was not that deep, but what was realistic and made fans feel empathetic. Her emotional fatigue from fighting cancer for a long time was understandable, and when she got some pain relief, we could finally breathe freely. Her mistrust of Dr. Wilder, especially in the absence of Helen, is also fair. It is unclear why Dr. Wilder suddenly trusts Dr. Castries is willing to work with her, because it kinda seems like a bad move. Anyways, don't get too attached to Willow, because she might not last till the end of the season. Veronica Fuentes is someone people love to hate, but nevertheless, doing so requires a lot of strength, so the break from the character was relieving. Nico also provided some stress relief with his fun and easygoing attitude. Since we'll only see him once, his life story is put aside, and his medical case is tended to. In our experience of watching medical shows, people with a heart condition are very rarely bashed, and this time it was no different. Although sports fans may call what unfolded ridiculous, it really touched the hearts of fans of the show, and also helped look at the matters from a different angle. Nico was obsessed with his lucky jersey. How strange is it that people get attached to material things and may even put pressure on them to bring something good, or just plain luck in their lives when they know that these objects barely have any control over anything? Watching Iggy working is always a pleasure. Here, he treated Herman as a human despite him being homeless, which just reminded us to have a little more compassion within ourselves. Reality or fantasy? New Amsterdam talks about how cops can learn how to not let situations get out of control from psychologists. Now, it's not really fun, or realistic for that matter, to watch them train every week, which also makes us think, can a program like this really be funded, especially in Manhattan? There are also problems that don't magically disappear, just like Lynn's pregnancy, which Floyd is running from. His future also doesn't look too good. He wants the baby to be his, but he doesn't want to stay with Lynn. The polyamorous plot was something that was rare on scripted TV, and also had the potential to be surprising. But a story that was started was not intended to have a follow-up. Who is who in New Amsterdam, the cast? The main cast of New Amsterdam consists of Ryan Eggold, who plays Dr. Max Goodwin, Freema Agyeman, who plays Dr. Helen Sharp, and Janet Montgomery, who plays Dr. Lauren Bloom. Not to forget Jacko Sims, who plays Dr. Floyd Reynolds, as well as Taylor Labine, who plays Dr. Iggy Frann. This ensemble of actors and actresses is featured in every episode of New Amsterdam so far. Michelle Forbes was a new face this time, and we will be seeing her play Dr. Veronica Fuentes throughout this season. Other members of the cast include Anupam Kher, who plays Dr. Vijay Kapoor, Christine Chang playing Dr. Agnes Kao, Shiva Kalaiselvan acting as Dr. Leila Shinwari, Alejandro Hernandez portraying Casey Acosta, Deborah Monk as Karen Brantley, and finally M. Grossland, who plays Nurse Brunstetter. How is New Amsterdam doing rating-wise? Good news! We don't have to worry about New Amsterdam being canceled anytime soon. We say this because the ratings, which typically are the best indication of a show continuing to be picked up, have been pretty good so far. Season 4 has averaged a 0.38 rating, and about 3.3 million people on average have been watching the show. Although the numbers have dipped from last year, where the average rating was 0.46, we don't need to worry because the series has already been renewed for a 5th season, which is a good sign. Let's hope it continues that way. When does New Amsterdam air? If you still haven't caught up with the new season, this is your sign. New Amsterdam's brand new episodes air on Tuesdays at 10 p.m., and in line with NBC's next day streaming strategy, they will be available for streaming every Wednesday after the show airs, and episode 13? Catch it on January 18th. And that's all we have for you today. Do you have any theories on what will happen later? Let us know in the comments down below. Leave us a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe if you'd like to hear more from us. Bye!